B'Sat Yishmaya, we're starting now Daf Tes and Aleph, the second half of Torah Zayin. So we learned till now that the Gullus is in order to Misakin Amunah. We say Amunah means that a person believes that in the Ma'alam Teva, he believes in Nisim, he believes that even if Teva is Mechayv a certain way, he could daven and change the Teva. And the main place that happens is in Eretz Yisrael. When a person has Amunah, he's zeichet to Eretz Yisrael, he's zeichet to Tefillah, and Nisim Ma'alam Derech Teva. When a person falls from Amunah, that's where he falls into Gullus. And Gullus is all the tsaris that a person has, that Bechlal, all Gullus are made for Yisrael, but every person's personal Gullus, all happens because he fell from Amunah, he fell from the Amunah that Tefillah is Meshana Teva. He thinks that Teva is Mechayev certain things to happen a certain way. And how is a person zeichet to Emunah? We said through emes. And how is a person zeichet to emes is when you're mekabel eitzis from tzaddikim. The eitzis that tzaddik gives comes from his seichel, which is gebayt and emes. The middle person is mekabel the eitzis, mekayim the eitzis, so he brings emes into himself. But a person has to be careful not to mekabel eitzis from a rasha, which come from a rasha's seichel. And when a person mekabel eitzis from somebody, then it's a bechin of nesuin. Because it makes a connection between the makabel eitzah and the one that gave the eitzah, and the way a person could be protected from atzas rishayim is through the mitzvah of tzitzis. Now there becomes the Ma'amar Rabbi Bechana. Rabbi Bechana says that a seicher yishmal, a taya, an Arab merchant once told me, come with me, and I'm going to show you Har Sinai. So I went with him. And I saw that around the mountain, there were scorpions around the mountain. And they were as tall as white donkeys. And while I was by Har Sinai, Rabbi Bechana says, I heard a Baskel which was saying, Oili shnishbati, v'ach shnishbati memefili. Oili that I made a shvua to send Klal Yisrael to Gullus, and now that I made a shvua, who's going to be made for the shvua? So the Har Sinai I'm going to show you Har Sinai. The Rebbe says the eitzes which come from the Torah, eitzes, the Tarig mitzvahs are Tarig eitzes, but they're surrounded by scorpions, and the Rebbe says scorpions, snakes. So the eitzes are the shoyim which prevent us from Kabbalah eitzes from tzaddikim, and they're surrounded and they're standing like white donkeys. Then the Rebbe explains that the tzitzis, which are a shmira from these nechoshim, from these atzas and nachosh. Why is that? Why? Because white is of tzitzis, because the tzitzis are metchilis and lavan is ikar tzitzis, and that's chamri. Donkey can also be chaymer, which is material, the white material from the tzitzis. And I've heard a Baskel that says, Early Shnishbati, Rashi says, the Rashbam says in the Gullus, Early Shnishbati, and they made a shvua to put Klal Yisrael in Gullus, but through tzitzis, a person could be zeicha to come to Atzas Sadikim, and to Emes, and through Emes you come to Amunah, through Amunah you have the Geula, and that's why Rabbi Bechana heard Kavyachol, the Eibishter, being a scharit on the Gullus, because through tzitzis, he's zeichet to the emes and to Amunah and eitzis, then I would go out of Gullus, and Hashem is kavyachol meschar to the Gullus. That's Pshat HaPasuk ve'ele mishpatim asher tasim afneim, that ve'ele is the Chazal say every place we see ve'ele it's Haisafa. Haisafa is in of Yosef. Yosef is to be Meisif, and Yosef is in Shmiras Bris. And when you have Shmiras Bris and you have mishpatim, and Mishpatei Hashem Emes, which means the Mishpatim which come from Tzaddikim, the Eitzis is Tzaddikim, and you have them together, Asher Tasm of name, which you put in front of us. That's Kais Chaber Emes, and that's Hushvu Isha Le'ish. That Isha Le'ish, that's Emes V'Amunah, Ish is of Emes, and Isha is Amunah. That you bring Emes V'Amunah together, that's a Zeichet Tegula. And that's also Yachal Shita Midim Loim in the Mevinim Tamaloim Ashatas Lefneim Archim Lefneim Kishach Narach. That's the name Gula. That all the Chachmas will be clear like a Shach Narach. So it's Mamshach Vaita in the Shmata after the Torah. That Tefillah is, we said before, is Amunah. It's Nisim. It's L'Malam Derech HaTeva. And memela tefillah is mesugel for memory. Why? Because tefillah says amunah. The whole word of shikha, forgetting, is you're saying that something was in front of me, it's not there anymore. Which you're saying that which is in of time. The things passed. The things happened before, and maybe I forgot it. If a person believes in tzchachas, and there's no such thing as something happened before and it happened a long time ago, and there's the chiyas all the time. Maybe you always have a chiyas, and maybe there's always a tzchachas, so you have any of zikaron. And that's the meaning of the Chazal say the mem and the ois mem and ois samach and the luchais that they're circles. So how were the inside of the samach and inside of the end of mem standing in the luchais? So Chazal say benes hayoimdim. Why? Because mas the oisis mem and samach together 40 and 60 add up to 100. And that's in shikha. Why? Because Chazal say you can't compare somebody who learned his Torah 100 times, someone learned 101 times. So you see that up until 100 times there's shikha, but with 101 there's already not shikha. So you say that when you have a nes, when you have something l'mayla b'derech hateva, then you go past 100, you go past the inyan of 100. Only in 100 you have shikha. But when you have a higher level of tefillah, of amunah, it's hebek hashemcha. And memela, all the inyanim of amunah help to be saved from the eitzes of the Rishoyim. Memela helps with a shmir from nif, and that helps for everything in the city. There is mamshech and another few eitzes to be masber the etzem idea that this Indian that through amunah and through tefillah and through nisim if a person's careful to listen to eitzes tzadikim, he's givizaychet tshuva, and that's in Yishmael that who showed him this whole thing. That's in Yishmael, the Taya, the Arab is a Seicher Yishmael, because Yishmael is in Tefillah, Yishmael Hashem Kol Yech, and Sechar, that is a Seicher. The word Seicher also means Sechar, to be surrounded, which is also in Amunah. Amunah is in something which is surrounding me. It's not inside me, it's something which is surrounding me, because it's not something which I totally understand. And through all this, a person can be Zeicha to Amunah, Zeicha to Geula.